Yeah, morning all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, visual also clear your voice.
So today I enter into the technicals of Python, right? Data types and variables. Data types and variables, right? Every organization, right? Every organization use case, every organization use case has got every organization use case has got data and operations. Data represented using data types or variables. Every organization use case has got data and operations, data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions. Every organization use case has got data and operations, data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions. For example, if we take the example of a bank, bank consists of customers and employees. Customers and employees, right? Customers has got a data and operations. Data like customer name, Ajay, account number, right? Branch, Hyderabad. Data represented using data types or variables. Data represented using data types or variables. So the bank consists of customers, right, data and operations. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented operations, right? Like withdraw operation, deposit operation, transfer operation. For all these operations, we use functions. Functions we'll discuss later. Now, data types are variables. Similarly, for employees also will have data and operations. Every organization, any organization will have this data and operations. Data like EID, employee ID, operations, right? Operations represented using operations means like calculating tax, calculating net salary, etc. Right? All these are represented by using functions. Any organization has got a data and operations. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions. If you compare C or C++ or Java, comparing C, C++ or Java with Python, Python supports dynamic data types. It supports dynamic data types. C or C++ or Java, right? Python supports dynamic data types. In other programming languages like C, C++, Java, if you want to create a variable like x equal to 10, compulsory I need to specify the data type int, right? Similarly, y equal to 4.5, I need to specify float y, like z equal to a string. Compulsory I need to specify the data type. So here, without this data type defining, you want to create a variable x. Without this data type, right? Without this data type float, you cannot create a variable y. Without this data type, you can't create the variable z. Compulsory, right? Data type definings are compulsory in other programming languages, right? But in Python, directly we can say x as 10, y as 4.5, z as hello. We no need to specify this data type in Python. Directly we can say x has 10, y has 4.5, z has hello. What kind of variable x is? Based on this data type defining, we are saying it as integer type. What kind of variable y is? Float type. What kind of variable z is? Means string type. But here in Python, what kind of variable x is means what value you are assigning to x. If you're assigning an integer value, it will be integer type. There is a function called type function in Python. Type of x is what type? Integer. Why it is integer? Because you assign an integer value. Type of y. Type of y is float type. Why it is float? Type of y is float. Why it is float? Because you assigned a float value. That's why it is taking. Type of z. Type of z is what type? str, string type, because you are assigning a string value. Based upon the value assigned, the variables are created dynamically during runtime. So what value you are assigning, based on the value assigned, the variable gets created. That's what we call like dynamic data type. So to make you understand much better about this, right? Dynamic data types, right? I'll discuss 4 cases now, right? Case 1, defining a variable. You need to understand what happens internally when we define some variable, how to print its value, how to print its content, how to print its address. So whenever I say x equal to 10, whenever I say x equal to 10, one object gets created with value 10. Internally, one object gets created with value 10. The object is going to occupy some address. This is given to x. So defining a variable, right? Whenever you define a variable x equal to 10, an object gets created with value 10, the object is going to occupy some address. The address is written to x. What x is storing? What x is storing? Don't say like x is storing the 10. X stores this address. X stores this address. Whenever I say print x, what happens whenever I say print x? It goes to this address and prints whatever content present at that address. Prints the content at that address. Ten. What is that? It prints 10. If you want to print the ID of x address, if you want to print this address, there is a function called ID of x, prints the address of x. One zero three zero 8060 prints the address of x. So internally it is stored within the memory. If you want to know the address where exactly it is stored, print address of ID of x. If you want to know the type of x, data type of x, what type? Integer type. So print x prints the content at that address. ID of x prints the address of x. Print type of x prints the data type of x. What type? Integer type. So understand. So how to print the content, how to print the address, how to print the type of a variable. So what happens if you define one variable, right? Internally, one object gets created with value 10 with some address. The address is given to x. Later, I'll brief you more on this object. What do you mean object? Everything in object-oriented programming. Now, observe this. Printing the content, printing the address, printing the type. Now, go to this case 2 now. Case 1 understood that everyone. Any query in this? X stores the address. Don't say X storing 10. Whenever you say print X, it goes to this address and print whatever present at that address. If you want to print the address itself, print ID of X prints the address of X. Type of X means what data type it is. Integer. Why it is integer? Because you assigned a integer value. Yes.
What is the object?
So yes, internally, if you are defining any variable, any value, right? Internally, an object is created. Means you have got a concept called like class and object. I'll be discussing it in brief. An object with value 10 gets created. The object is going to occupy some memory address. That memory location is given to X. Whenever you say print X, it goes to the prints the content. It goes to this address, prints the content at that address, at this address, right? Okay. Case 2. Now, now try to answer everyone, right? You can unmute yourself and try to give your responses either through voice or through chart panel, right? X equal to 10, Y equal to 20. How many objects will be created? Yes, everyone.
2 objects are created.
Two objects. For 10, one object is created with value 10. Two different objects with two different addresses. This address is given to X. This address is given to Y. Right.
Sir, 103070, what is this?
Means where exactly in which physical memory location address, which address it is stored, that address. Here I have taken randomly, but where exactly it is stored within the memory, that address will be written. So here, print X, everyone try to answer. What is print X?
It's 10.
10. Print ID of X.
It's 103070.
103070. Type of X.
It's integer.
Type of X is what? Integer. I'll show you all these things practically. All these 4 cases I'll be showing you practically today itself. Yes. So observe here, print Y.
It's 20.
To 104080. Type of Y. Type of Y is what type? Type
Integer.
of integer type.
So if we will change the value of X, then the address will also get changed.
If we change the address of, what is it? If we change the,
If we change the value of the X, suppose the value of X changes to 20 like that, then the address also changes.
yes, address also changes. If X value changed to 50, a new target 50 gets created. That 50 will have new address. Okay. Now observe here. Two different variables with two different values, then two different objects gets created with two different addresses. Two different variables, two different values, two different objects with two different addresses. Okay. Now observe this case 3. X value is 10, Y is 10. X value is 10, Y value is 10. Try to say how many objects will be created here. Everyone.
2 objects.
Everyone try to respond. Right.
Sir, one object.
Here only one object gets created. Yes. Observe here. Right. X equal to 10 means one object with value 10 gets created with some address. Before creating object for Y, it checks any object with value 10 is already available. If already available, the same address will be given. Means one more object with value 10 won't be created. X is 10, Y is 10, Z is 10. Don't think like 3 objects will be created with 10, 10, 10. Only one object, the same address will be given to X, Y, and Z.
What if x is equal to 10 and let's say another variable 10.0?
One integer object, one float object created.
Yes, then
One integer object and one float object. Two objects will be created.
okay.
Here X, Y, and Z, they have got same content 10. So don't think like 3 objects with value 10, 10 will be created, only one object. X is 10, Y is 10, Z is 10. Now, X, Y, and Z, they are sharing the same content 10. They are sharing the same address, right? So can I say like print X? Equal to print Y, print Z equal to 10. Print Y equal to print Z equal to print address of X, address of Y, right? Print address of Z. Say 103070, right? Address of X, address of Y, address of Z. Type of X equal type of Y equal to type of Z equal to yes. Print X, print Y, print Z to 10. Address are same address. Type also same. Yes. If the values are same, only one object. If, for example, if X value is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30. How many objects? If X value is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30.
3 objects.
3 objects will be created. If the values are different, multiple objects. If the values are same, only one object. Observe this case for right there. X value is 10, X is 20. Now no XY. The previous examples you have taken XY, but here X is 10, X is 20. How many objects will be created here? For 10, how many objects gets created?
2 objects.
1.
For 10, one object will be created with value 10. For 20 also, one more object gets created, right? It's going to occupy some address. It is going to have some address. The address given to X, this address given to this. Print X equal to
20.
what is the value?
20.
Always it prints the latest value, right? X value 20.
So the values are overridden.
I'll come to it. Whether the values are overridden. What? Okay. Address of X means 104080. Now what happens? Okay, print X means 20. Again, if I print X, again it will print 20. Again, if I say print X, it prints 20. 10 times if we say also, it is printing the value 20. But what is there any possibility to print this value object 10? What happens to this? What happens to this object? Whether it is overridden, whether it gets removed, or what happens to this object?
So the value is taken by garbage collector.
If I say print x, if I say print x, right, it always prints 20. To know what happened to this previous object to 10, to know what happens to the previous object, whether it is available or removed, there is a small concept, right, we'll call garbage collector. It's too early to discuss that concept, but I'll just give overview as of now. Later we discuss in brief, right? So garbage collector, to explain that, I'll go back to this case 3. Garbage collector, right? Garbage collector removes. This garbage collector removes unused or unreferred objects. Removes objects. Garbage collector means removes unused or unreferred objects from the memory. It removes unused or unreferred objects from the memory. You may ask, what do you mean by unused or unreferred objects? Or you may ask, what do you mean by unused or unreferred objects? Means objects objects whose reference count becomes 0. Object whose reference count becomes 0. Objects whose reference count becomes 0. We call them as unused or unreferred objects. Then immediately that object gets removed. That object gets removed. Objects whose reference count becomes 0, then immediately that object gets removed from the memory. Automatically by the garbage collector. You may ask, what is this reference count and how it becomes 0? What is this reference count and how it becomes 0, right? Just observe this reference count. What do you mean by reference count? Means number of variables pointing to an object. Number of variables pointing to an object, or number of variables storing address of a object. What is reference count? Number of variables pointing to an object or number of variables storing address of a object. Okay, to make you understand, right? What is reference count? What is garbage collector? Right. See here, how many variables are pointing to this object to 10? Yes, everyone try to give your responses. How
Three.
many?
Three.
Three variables, X is
Three.
pointing, Y is pointing, Z is pointing. So what is the reference count?
3.
3. As X, Y, and Z, all these three variables pointing to the same object, reference count is 3. Slowly, I am modifying. Assume I modified the Y value to 20. Just now someone asked the query, right? What happens if you modify? Y equal to 20 means one new object gets created with value 20 with some address. Now Y is pointing to the new object. Y is pointing to the new object to 20. Y is not pointing to this. Now reference count becomes what?
2.
2. Previously, three variables were pointing, so reference now only two variables. Now Y is not pointing to this. Y is pointing to a new object. Z equal to 30. Slowly, I modified the Z value also to 30. One more new object with value 30 gets created. The address given to Z. Now Z is pointing to the new object. Z is not pointing to this. Z is not pointing to this. Now reference count becomes
1.
1.
reference count becomes 1, right? Only X is pointing now. Y and Z, they are pointing to new objects 20 and 30.
Sir.
Slowly, I'm modifying that X value also to 50. A new object with 50. Right? Then address is given to X. Now X is not pointing to this. X is pointing to the new object. What is the reference count now?
0.
0. No variable is pointing. No variable is pointing to this object at 10. Unused object it is. 10 is unused. It's unreferred object. No object, no variables are referring. Unused or unreferred object. Okay. Now reference count became 0, right? Then immediately this object is going to get removed by the garbage collector. Whenever any object reference count becomes 0, whenever any object reference count becomes 0, then immediately that object gets removed. Understood now? What is garbage collector? Removing unused or unreferred objects from the memory. And
So it is permanently removed, right?
yes, permanently removed. So when what is garbage collector? Removing unused or unreferred objects. How this reference count becoming 0 and when that object gets removed, right? So understood, right, everyone? Right. Based on this understanding, go back to this case 4, right? Go back to this case 4. Now try to understand. Forget about X equal to 20 for some time. X equal to 10. What is the reference count of it? Reference count. How many variables are pointing to 10?
1.
1.
Only one variable is pointing, right? X reference count is 1. Slowly, if you are modifying X value to 20. Now X is pointing to the new object. X is not pointing to this. What is the reference count? 0. When reference count is 0, right? Yes. This object gets removed by the garbage collector. Okay. Now what happens? I was asking you a query, right? What happens to the previous object? Is it overridden or gets removed? Removed by the garbage collector. Whenever I say X equal to 30, what happens to this 20? Yes, everyone. What happens to this 20?
Values are
Goes to
overridden.
Garbage.
Garbage collector.
Gets removed by the garbage collector.
Garbage.
Now I'm going to show you all these 4 cases practically, right? Now observe. Whenever we install Python directly in the search, you can say IDLE, right? And say open this Python IDLE, right? Python shell gets opened in this way, but I want to work with batch mode, file, new file, right? Yes. Case 1, defining a variable, right? Yes. X equal to 10. If I say print X, address of X and type of X, right? Print type of X. Print X, address of X and type of X. Save it. This print X, where it is print 10. Address means where exactly it is stored in the memory, right? Yes. Type of X is what type? Integer type. Now observe this. I'm copying the same, right? For case 2, file, new file. X value is 10, Y value is 20, that is case 2. Defining two different variables with two different values. Then two different objects. Two different variables with two different variables XY with two different values 10, 20, then two different objects gets created with two different addresses. And X is 10, Y is 20. Print X, address of X, type of X. Now one more. Print Y, address of Y, type of Y. Print Y, address of Y, and type of Y.
Sir, one question. Sir, the program are running which application?
So here, right, case 2. This is case 2, right? The programmer is running
Which application?
I didn't get your query.
Sir, actually, I want to ask that this program is running which applications? Sir, we also write in Python program after that running which application?
Okay, for running here, run module, run option is there, right? Run
Sir.
module,
Okay, sir.
file, save it, first save it,
Sir.
into .py, right? Here, run option is there, right? Run module you need to say. Okay, so two different variables, right? Two different values, 10, 20, two different addresses, right? This and this two different addresses. Type will be integer, right? Two different variables, two different values. We are running in ideally, yes. I said, right? Ideally, if you type, yes. 1 second. Okay. Now observe this case 3, right? Yes, here two different variables, two different addresses, right? Now observe case 3. Defining two different variables with same values. X is 10, Y also 10. Two different variables with same values. Two different variables with same values. Then only one object gets created. And its address is written. Defining two different variables with same values, then only one object gets created and its address is returned to both the variables. X value is 10, Y value is 10. Now can you answer the address of X and address of Y, are they same or different?
Same address.
Try to respond. X is 10, Y is 10. Address of X will be same or different?
It will be same address.
It has to be same address, right? It should be
Right.
same because the values are same, the contents are same, so address also remains same, 10 and 10. Observe this, run module. See the content 10 and 10. The address you see, same addresses, same contents, same type, int and int. Okay. Now see this case 4. File, new file. Say control V. Case 4. X is 10 and X is 20. What is it? X is 10 and X is 20. Defining two variables. two variables with same name x and x. Defining two variables with same name. It's same name but with different values. Defining two variables with same name but with different values. Two variables with the same name but with different values. Then only but with different values. Then two different objects gets created, two different objects. And the previous one gets removed. Previous one gets removed, right? Two variables with same name but with different values. Two different objects gets created and the previous one gets removed. Okay. X is 10, X is 20. Always it prints that value 20, address of 20 and type of 20. The previous one gets removed. It always prints the 20, the address of type of 20. Index, its address and its type. Now, previously one query was asked, right? Case 3, if I go back to case 3, X value is 10, Y is 10.0. The address of X and Y, are they same or different? Everyone.
Sir, same.
Same.
Different.
Before you
Different.
answer, what is type of Y?
It will be different, sir. It is float type.
Different data type.
Type of Y
Decimal
will
float,
be
Float.
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 Type of X will be integer. So
different.
both are different, right? So two
Yes,
different,
address will be
10
different.
and 10.0 are not same. Type will be different, address will be different. See, this type is integer float. See, the address is also different. 10 and 10.0 are not same. Okay. So that is how to define variables. Now coming back to this data types. The type of data to be used. Data types are mainly of two types. They're mainly of two types. Fundamental data types, yes. Secondly, collection data types. Fundamental data types means object to holding single value. What is that? Object to holding Fundamental data type means object holding single value. Example, x equal to 10. One object gets created with value 10 with some address. The address returned to x. Object holding single value x equal to 10. One object gets created, one address. So this is the object holding single value. Object holding group of values. Example, x equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I got some list of values. Here also one object gets created right in this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 values are stored. It's going to have some address. The address is given to x. Object holding group of values. Object holding group of values, right? Object holding group of values. Collection data type, object holding, right? Object holding single value, object holding group of values. Now, fundamental data types, just observe, right? So comments in Python starts with hash symbol. They're not executable. Fundamental data types. There are of mainly 5 types. Integer. Integer means something in right. For example, age 25. Like float. Float nothing but some, for example, height 6 point is something in decimal point. Boolean, which returns either true or false. Boolean values we say 0 or 1. 0 indicates false, 1 indicates true. True or false. See here, T should be in uppercase, F should be in uppercase. True or false. String means sequence collection of characters. City equal to Hyderabad. HYDERABAD, right? Hyderabad. And fifth, complex. Complex type, right? Yes. One second. In general mathematics, right? Complex number, right? X plus IY or A plus IB, we say, right? Python also supports complex data type A plus I, but in Python, instead of I for imaginary, we say symbol J. Okay. And for complex collection types, collection data types. Collection data types mainly are of 4 types. List, represented using squared bracket. Tuple, represented using normal braces. Set, represented using curly braces. dictionary represented by using key value. List represented tuple sets dictionary. Okay, by seeing the braces only should identify what type of collection it is. List means square bracket, tuple is this, set means curly bracket, and this is what key and value format. Example of this list: x equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. Example of this tuple: y equal to tuple of values 10, 20, 30, 40. Set by using curly bracket 10, right? So dictionary means, okay, this is Z, you say W equal to something in the form of key and value, name, Ajay, age 25, right? Yes. This is key and value. This is what key and value. This is what key and value, right? Yes. Key value, key value. This is key value. City Hyderabad. City will be the key. Hyderabad will be the value. Something in the form of key value, right? Collection of key value pairs we call dictionary, right? So these collections we have got a lot of discussion we'll be discussing, right? What is list, list indexing, list slicing, list properties, list functions, list methods, list addresses, nested list, list modifications, right? Similarly for tuple sets and dictionaries. So in fundamental types, we have got a lot of discussion on strings, string indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special characters, right? More discussion on the strings, right? Okay. So tomorrow also you can attend the session, right? More discussion on this. I'll be discussing morely on string types, string related fundamental type, right? So tomorrow you can attend, but from day after tomorrow, the link will be changing, right? The link will be changing. So get enrolled, right? Everyone get enrolled for getting
The evening batch is available.
evening batch. Okay.
I checked on website, but it's showing 5:30 a.m.
No. Evening batch, it will be like still it takes like 10 days, right? 10 days of time. Like 9 p.m. evening, 9 o'clock it will be. Night 9 o'clock.
So is there any 5:30 batch class?
So 6 a.m. only will be there, right?
Actually, it shows some 5:30 class regarding Python, and also mention your name. So only
6 a.m. class only. 6 a.m. only, right? The same batch. Okay, fine.
okay, sir. Thank you.
You can see this course content and this demo video links and this total, right? Demo videos, everything you can see in the chart panel. And this, so there is only 6 a.m. batch in the morning. There is only 6 a.m. batch in the morning. In the evening, it may take like more 1-2 weeks, right? It may take 2 weeks of time.
Sir,
Start, yes.
sir, which number we have to pay, sir, amount?
So you can see in that chart panel, right? They have provided the Google Pay number is clearly mentioned there. See that message, last message. A big message is given, right? Google Pay number is given there, and there other payment details are provided, right? You can also see that contact details, right? Everyone, you can see this, right? Yes.
So what about international student?
Pardon?
How do international student pay?
So here, after doing the payment, don't forget to send your screenshot to DURGASOFT online training. There is given, they have mentioned there, right? Yes.
Sir?
Okay.
I'm saying,
Fine.
how do international student pay?
International student payments, their bank details provided right here. They have provided the account number details, right?
Sir, from day after tomorrow, we are able to see this recorded video, sir. We get the link or any portal to watch
Yes.
this previous
Yes,
lectures.
yes. From day after tomorrow. From day after tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir.
Observe.
Last these numbers, can you say, sir?
Google, everything, you will be getting the videos to your Google Drives, right? To your Google Drives. Every day, a folder link will be given, right? In that daily one video gets added into it. So from tomorrow, you can attend the session same time using the same link. But from day after tomorrow, new link, you will be getting that videos daily to your Google Drives. You will be getting the class notes, that like whatever notes we are seeing, right, to your mail IDs, and a WhatsApp group will be created, right?
Sir, can you say last digit number, mobile number, payment?
So are you talking about the one to download?
Yeah, can anyone share the payment details and all this?
Sir,
Once again, you can see this, right? Yes. Can you see this? Yes, one issue in the see in the chart now, right?
Yes.
I
Sure.
got a message, right? You can just go through that. And
Yeah,
also you'll be getting to your mails, right? Whatever mails you have provided. And people who go for full stack like total Python. Yes, it's
Sir,
10,000
yeah,
and
yeah.
only for Python it is 5. Yes.
Yes, okay, sir. I saw the details. Sir, could you please check, that is Raghavan Venkat shared one photo. Could you please check those? In that it shows 5:30 batch. So this is the same photo regarding I also watched. So only I am asking. Could you please watch it once? See the photo.
In the chart you are talking. No.
Yeah, in the chat.
I'm clearly saying that it's only 6 a.m. batch. It might be.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying there is only 6 a.m. batch in the morning.
Oh,
The-
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Yeah, the NumPy, pandas, and all this will be also included in this course, right?
Yes, Python for data science also will be discussed, right? Within the Python, right?
Okay.
So
And what are the other libraries which will be discussed here?
see NumPy, pandas, matplotlib, and regular expressions. See some models related to data science, models related to databases, models related to regular expressions, models related to graphics, models related to operating system, models related to as said graphics, data and time related, and how to create our own models, right? So if you see this course content, right, all those are mentioned. Data science related, some models related to big data, some models related to OS, some models related to database, some related to graphics, right? And data and time related, regular expressions. So those are the models I'll be covering and how to create our own modules. Yes.
Okay.
That is for Python. That is for Python, right? We'll be spending nearly 70 hours in brief, in depth about all those things. Again, the 50 to 60 hours more on this full stack, right? Like web development technologies and the Django framework. Fine. So the timing of this batch, clearly I'm saying up to the end of the course, it will be like 6 to 7 only. So for the 6 to 7 only, there is no morning batch for the next 1 month.
We have classes in Saturday also, sir.
So mostly from Monday to Friday, but later if I'm running out of time, I'll be taking Saturdays. I'll be pre-intimating before, right? So as of Monday to Friday only.
So this course duration is it will complete on September, October end. No.
Yeah. Python, right? It says nearly 2 months or 2.5 months it takes. Right. Fine. So Python core means in this Python core, Python advanced and application oriented models will be covered, right? Yes. So tomorrow you can attend the session, right? Same time using the same link. Tomorrow you can attend the same, but day after tomorrow onwards, you need to get enrolled for getting that link, right? Fine.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So
Thank
I'm
you, sir.
stopping for now. We'll continue tomorrow, right? Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.